If you haven't seen the last episode, I highly recommend you go back and give it a viewing. It's left us in this position now. We are just about over the heartache of it, but we do need to make some transfers as we have qualified for the Champions League. So it's a big summer for us. It's going to start off with a bit of bad news though. We are very disappointed with the news. Obviously, we've been looking forward to moving into the new stadium for a while now. We said a bit of an emotional goodbye to Edgeley Park yesterday, but we needn't have done so. The new stadium has been delayed. Apparently it's 3 months behind schedule, which definitely isn't ideal at all. And we will have to remain to Edgeley Park maybe until October time. So very disappointing for us. Maybe quite fittingly, Edgeley Park might get to see a little bit of Champions League football just before that stadium is built properly. But yeah, it's disappointing that we can't be moving into it for the new season beginning. So that news has come quite quickly after the end of the season, so we aren't quite at the beginning of the transfer window. But we've just been making a little bit of an assessment of the squad. The highlighted players are the ones who will either qualify as homegrown a club or who are already homegrown a club for Champions League next year. We do also have Raul, but I think the time may be coming for him to go on the transfer list. He isn't the greatest of players, if we're being honest. He's not too bad, but I think for breaking into our team as a first team player, it might be a bit too much for him. So maybe time to move him on in order to bring a little bit more money into the club as well. So we're toying with that idea. Obviously, Patino has requested a transfer as well. So he is one we are looking to move on. You may be able to see as well, Matsushita has got a new wage there as well. So we have offered him a new contract. He was our best player throughout the season. Really had a fantastic year for us as well. A 7.17 average rating. But if we just look across the competitions in the Premier League, 13 goals he was involved in, 7.16 average rating and 7.25 in both of the cups. It's really been a fantastic breakthrough year for the young man, and with Patino leaving, he's definitely going to step up into senior first team contention as well. So he's going to be rewarded with that new contract, so obviously that'll eat into the wage budget a little bit as well. So we've got lots of decisions to be made. We need to strengthen up top, like we were saying. We do want to keep Lee Dilly around for that homegrowners club, plus the nice story of him being a one club legend, and we want that to happen here. So it could be Owen Foy's time at the club up, and obviously we would need to replace him. Obviously in yesterday's episode we did mention Gregorio Bolaños at Bournemouth. Bournemouth have just been relegated and he would be available for £20 million. He got 4 goals against us in the end of last season, but yeah, he really dried up this year. So he is one to keep an eye on, but one who I am a bit more keen on is Ismael Higuera. He's a 20-year-old Spanish player currently playing for Mallorca. Looks like he could be an absolutely unstoppable striker. So getting him on our books would be absolutely fantastic, but the value is a lot more, so we'd have to raise funds in order to get that over the line. So there's lots of business to be done. I think the plan now, it is going to be a bit of a slow start to the window while we try to raise those funds that we need. So we'll get a few players offered out on the transfer list, and I think we'll be back for the opening day of the transfer window, unless there's anything major happening between now and then. The beginning of the transfer window has arrived. We saw one offer come in for Charlie Patino from a Chinese club, and he had no interest whatsoever in going to them. There is still a bit of interest, but the transfer window has just opened, so I'm expecting the business to start ramping up. We may have already got his replacement in the building though. Kakiro Yamada was a signing that we instigated last season. It's only just gone through now. He was on the next gen list, but he looks like he could be an extremely quality addition to the team. He's in the under 21s at the moment, but just as a little point of reference, if we remember that Matsushita was our best player ratings wise this year, and there's really not much difference between the two of these two at the moment. Matsushita slightly better with vision, speed and a bit of physicality. That'll come with Yamada's development though. and he already looks like a very, very solid player. So I think he is one that we are already going to move to the senior squad. We've got him training in that deep lying position as well, so hopefully he'll start to pick that up soon. And I honestly think with how he looks at the moment, come the end of the season, this could very much be all in Yamada's favour. So we're very excited about that one. Didn't actually realise how close he was to Matsushita already when we did start that signing, but we're very excited to have him at the club. But like we say, it's going to be a slow start for other transfers coming in. We need to do some business, getting some players off the books, and yeah, like we say, it's going to be a bit of a painful process, I imagine. We are seeing a few offers come in for Patino, but it's not the offers that we want. None of them, not all the money's up front, and it's not really hitting the value. The only one so far has a Spezia, but we would need more of the money to come in up front. So it is something that we are holding out for. Interestingly, one of the teams that was interested before was Mallorca. They obviously have one of the players we are interested in Ismael Higuera. So there could be an option for us maybe to try to get a deal done involving a bit of a swap. It's not something that happens too often, but I feel like it is something which we could maybe get over the line. I'm sure we've done it before within this save. So that is something which I am considering doing. Yeah, we'll keep an eye on that one. Obviously, we would still like some more bids coming in for Patino, though. If we can just sell him and get that money into the club, that would be great as well. But yeah, we've got to keep our options open, I think. We're trying to compete with the big boys for Irio Ishino. He's a young Japanese striker, and he looks like he could be a talent. We haven't fully finished scouting him yet, but we can see all of the big teams are after him. It's only us and PSG who have made a bid so far. PSG have just been named the best club in Europe, so we're up against some stiff competition. But I'm hopeful that we could see him over the line. We are going to offer him fringe player status as well, just to give him a little bit more of a pathway. Hopefully that'll help him make the decision a bit more. We'll remove the wage rise. We'll give him a more basic wage up front as well. So yeah, we're presenting what I think is a very, very fair deal to him. We'll put the optional extension by the club in. He's very happy with that. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see if he does want to come to us. He does want to be loaned out for the season as well. We promised him that he has. We promised him that he will be. So we want to look for slightly better teams than Tokyo Verdy, though, with all due respect to Tokyo. And developments in the Higuera world, he has just been placed on the transfer list. We'll see what he wants. He is keen on joining us. Wages aren't too ridiculous. If he wants a wage minimum fair release clause of 110 million, who am I to say no to that? I think, yeah, it looks very, very reasonable. I'm happy with that minimum fair release clause. Like I was saying, I'm sure we'd be able to negotiate another contract for him if he's happy at the club. We'll see if we can get the basic wage down, but definitely looks realistic. So we will see if we can get a deal involving Patino done. So we originally went with 30 million up front and 20 million in instalments with Charlie Patino, and they haven't completely rejected it. So I think there is a deal to be done. So we'll drop this down to 30 and make that non-negotiable. We'll try to up the instalments a little bit. 48, obviously Patino still going. It would be quite a big transfer fee, but we'd be getting quite a big player for that as well. That's a very hefty fee to pay after that amount of league appearances. We'll drop that down around about 6 million. We'll drop another couple of million up front and we'll pop this up to 50. So yeah, that's currently £88 million plus a player. If they don't go for this one, we'll do something else. They've gone for that one though. Oh, it's a big deal, but I think this guy could be the one. He looked absolutely sensational. I think in my eyes, he far surpasses Lee Dilly or any other striker we've ever had at the club, and I think he could do massive, massive things for us. So, yeah, we're going to go ahead. We are going to get into these negotiations. Happy with all of this. We're going to promise him whatever we have to in order to get him over the line. I'm kind of regretting putting that promise in, if I'm being honest. But yeah, we'll live to regret that another time. For now, though, very, very reasonable wage, which he does want. This all now hinges on Charlie Patino and whether or not he wants to move to Mallorca. So we've got to hope that one goes through. We've got to hope Higuera does get his deal signed, or we might be sitting here in tears after losing out on a potential big player for us. Everton have come in and made a bid for Toby Coleman. Obviously, he's the third choice keeper. He's only 19 years old. Been playing most of the football for the under-21s this year. He does look like he still could improve massively though, and don't really feel the need to make changes in the goalkeeping department as of yet. So I think we will reject that. Toby Coleman can stick around as third choice unless there is a better offer that comes through. We're definitely not desperate to sell him on. But obviously Caetano made that mistake yesterday as well. But it's a learning curve for him. Obviously he's still a young player, and we're going to hope that he bounces back from that mistake quite quickly. He'll want to be putting in improved performances. And with us being in the Champions League next year, there will be opportunities for him to just appear in the team as well. So yeah, I'm happy with the goalkeeping situation. Like we say, the striker situation is something which we've needed to solve for a while now. We haven't seen Patino reject Mallorca as of yet, so hopefully we're still going to see that one go through, and we've just got everything crossed that we see a confirmation of that one very shortly. And obviously we are trying to increase the funds as much as possible, so we have promised that we'll get through the league stage of the Champions League, and we're going to reach the fourth round of the Carabao Cup. So that's up the wage budget to just over 2 million, give us an extra 2 million in the transfer budget as well. So yeah, every little helps at this stage, so it's nice to be able to get that over and done with. We still waiting for that confirmation. It's very, very nerve-wracking now. We just want to get that one over the line. Milinkovic wants a new contract. He is a great little player for us, but a new contract, I think we'll have to wait a little bit. Obviously financially we are going over those wages, so in a bit of a precarious position. We just need to keep an eye on what happens, so we'll try to convince him to wait a little bit. He's not really happy with that. He does deserve a new contract. He is a great player for us, so we will promise to get one over the line soon. Other things will have to come before that though, and like we say, getting players over the line is what we're holding out for. Owen Foy's another one who wants a new contract. We had exactly the same conversation with him as well. He still doesn't want to talk to new clubs either, so yeah, we're going to have to keep an eye on that one. But yeah, like we say, if Ishmael comes in, that could be Owen Foy's future at the club under real threat, or maybe a change of position. Stephen Whittle is still wanted as well, and he's another one who maybe with us trying to progress could find his future in a little bit of danger. Little Whittle, he is a little bit of a favourite of mine, but yeah, we've got to consider things, and yeah, we are going to have to move some players on, that's for sure. Everyone wants a new contract. It's the score this time. The score, obviously, yeah, you're going to get a new contract when we can afford to offer you one. So yeah, there's lots going on. We didn't get that Japanese striker, but very understandably he's chosen to join PSG over ourselves. We have had our loan players return as well, and in the interest of getting more funds into the club, Felipe, Corrigan and Chobmanitam have all been placed on the transfer list. Felipe and Corrigan could bring in 50 million if we get the bids that we want on them. Matthew as well is currently still at the club. I think he could be a decent third choice striker for us, but maybe it could be time to move him on. That's one I'll keep an eye on for now. We have had a few contracts be signed. The Score signed a new contract along with Milinkovic, so we've tied down a couple of players. We've sold a youngster as well, not bringing in too much money into the club, but like we said before, every little helps. No offers for Raul at the moment, but we've just agreed a price on him. He wants to be sold for 31 million. I think we offered him out for around that last time. So we'll try to move down this one slowly, try to get clubs making bids for him, and we've told him to try to convince clubs as well. So ideally we can find out the Higuera news soon, just so we know what the state of play is for us. Pre-season's beginning shortly as well, and yeah, we just want to know if we've got him in. And as we wished for it, we have got confirmation that his move has been delayed due to a work permit. I'm not sure what this means with Patino, whether or not he's accepted the contract or not, but it's progression at least, so we're very, very happy with that. We'll reject this loan offer for Matthew for now, but like we say, could very well be moving on shortly. We've got an offer for Chobmanitam as well. It's in excess of £9 million, but I think it'll be a good deal. We signed him for £1 million. Obviously, he featured semi-regularly for the first team in his first season, hasn't quite developed how we would want, but like we say, we need money coming into the club, and with the percentage of profit as well, I think it will be a good deal for us. We'll convince Felipe to fight the new club for himself as well, and we'll drop his asking price a little bit. So hopefully progression will be made now. It's 3 days until the work permit for Higuera goes through, and then we'll finally see the lay of the land. It could be a historic signing for the club if things turn out as planned. The deal for Higuera has gone through, and we have just hit the confirm button, so it could be one more screen, and it is confirmation. Higuera is a Stockport player. Patino did one last thing for Stockport, and he agreed a move to Mallorca, and we'll never ever be able to thank him enough for that. He's helped us bring in this absolute tank of a forward. Hopefully he can settle in very nicely. I hope he's going to grab a lot of goals for us, but I think it's a step up in player attacking wise. He's exactly what we needed, so it's great to be able to welcome him to the club. We'll get his compatriot Jimenez to welcome him. Obviously Sintas as well is Spanish, so there's a lot of players around him to welcome him into the club, and hopefully that'll just help him acclimatise. He's come in right at the start of pre-season as well. There's only been 2 days of pre-season so far, so he's going to be getting a lot of that with us, and we're just delighted to be able to have him in the squad with us. So we'll welcome him along. Financially, it is a little bit of a mess at the moment. We'll try to make this as nice as possible. It's really not great. We definitely need to bring money into the club now, and yeah, hopefully we'll solve that situation soon and continue to strengthen the team from there as well. The next one to ask for a new contract is Little Whittle, and yeah, it's can't really afford to offer it. I mean, we're not going to change our mind. Players are trying to hold us to ransom, and we're not for it here at Stockport. So yeah, I think it's going to be a tricky summer given what we have to do. Obviously, if we can get some of these players out of the club, it would help the situation, but yeah, it's proven to be a difficult start. It's been fantastic to get Ishmael in, though realistically if he was the only sign we'd made, obviously it'd be a bit of a waste of a transfer window, but yeah, I think it would be a great signing. Despite not having the money in the club at the moment, we are looking to bring in Pablo Tur as well. He's currently down as a ball-winning midfielder, but I think he could be a fantastic centre-back for us as well, competing with Anthony Jones, and obviously looking to get rid of Raul. I think this guy could be the perfect person to replace him and just add a little bit more quality in that back line. We are competing with Manchester City though, so yeah, it's not looking ideal. We've made the better bid for him and have been able to discuss a contract, so we've stolen a bit of a march on them, but I'm sure, yeah, it's not going to be the last of that. Manchester City are going to be competing with us. Hopefully we can get him over the line, but we need to bring money into the club first. We've accepted an offer for Leighton Corrigan, 14.5 million. Obviously the Chobmanatam money as well would give us a transfer budget of around 20 million, so more than enough to bring Pablo into the club, but we need those ones to go through before we can finalise the Pablo one. The Chobmanatam deal did go through, as well as a couple of other smaller deals for a couple of fringe players in the under-21s, and off the back of that we have made some big decisions as well. We've obviously offered Raul out on the transfer list. We've got bids in for Corrigan as well. But we have offered Owen Foy a new contract and decided to place Stephen Whittle on the transfer list. Obviously, we need to think about homegrown in England players as well. So it will be useful to keep as many English players about as we could. So with that in mind as well, we have also put Matthew on the transfer list for £30 million. He's currently got a bid in from the Chinese club, which came in for Patino earlier on. So hopefully we'll see that one go through. Owen Foy will hopefully get that contract over the line. But we are going to have to deal with Stephen Whittle. He's unhappy about the fact that we're offering him out to clubs. But realistically, he is going to have to move on. We have to think about the future. We have Francisco in that position, and yeah, we, like it says in a lot of these options, we need to improve the club's financial position, and it's just how can we appease Stephen Whittle. So I think we're going to say to him that we're struggling to find a place for him in the team. I mean, the kid's really got a high opinion of himself. He's claiming that he's one of our best players. Don't get me wrong, Stephen, you're not too bad, but you're definitely not one of the best players. If the tactical approach doesn't suit me, then it's the wrong approach. Yeah, we're not happy with that. He's going to have to accept the decision. Hopefully it's not going to influence the squad too much, and we can just move on a bit quietly. The 60 million that we did offer him out for was well above his value. Hopefully now he'll be unhappy and want to leave, and yeah, we'll start seeing some bids soon, but that really wasn't ideal, so hopefully there's not going to be too much fallout from that. There's a bit of fallout, but it's not from players who are too influential at the club. Only major concern is for Silva Santos, but yeah, we'll discuss the issue with the squad and see what we can say to them. We are going to tell them that it's the best thing to do for the team, and yeah, they aren't really happy with that, but they'll get over it eventually. Stephen will get over it eventually. It's time to be realistic. We need to move players on. We need to strengthen, and yeah, I think the time may have come for Stephen Whittle to try to find pastures new and just keep his career going elsewhere. We are seeing quite a few loan offers for Felipe, but no transfer bids as of yet, which is quite frustrating. We'll offer him out for transfer again, but yeah, this one is looking more troublesome than the rest. Corrigan's rejected the offer from Granada though, which is really disappointing and a bit of a kick in the teeth for the transfer ambitions, but we go again. We have offered him out for slightly over that, and yeah, we're still Stephen Whittle really isn't happy with us. He's got no intention of leaving. He's done talking with us. Oh god, this really is not going well. We're going to persist in offering him out though. Like, we're going to find a resolution to this, and hopefully it'll be our resolution rather than his. So in a bit of exciting news, Pablo Ter has agreed to come to us. In less exciting news, we don't have the money in the budget to get him over the line yet. So yeah, like Corrigan rejecting that contract has really knocked that. Hopefully Matthew will agree his deal, but that's a bit unlikely. So although good news in one way, we need to just start getting these players out of the club and bringing that money in now. We have seen an offer come in for St Ass, and it's not really one I'm that interested in entertaining. He's interested in the move, but he's a fantastic player for us, very versatile, can play anywhere across that front four. So we're going to reject that. We will say there's a price that he can be sold for, but Manchester United will need to hit that and hit that up front. So yeah, he's going to have to be happy with what we are offering him out for, £64 million. If Manchester United bid 64 million up front, he can move on. And we have got an offer for Felipe, finally, £25 million. So things may be looking up for us. Raul's just picked up a little injury, so that might deter some bids for him. But yeah, hopefully good things on the horizon now. We have had a loan bid for Whittle with the optional future fee in there. They only want to pay 50% of his wages, though that's a bit of a concern. They have actually agreed to pay all of them. It would be £51 million if they did trigger the optional fee, 30% of the next sale as well. So it would be a good deal if they did trigger it. And I think just due to the fact he is so unhappy, we don't want his unrestfulness causing issues at the club. I think we will just accept that for now, and hopefully that'll sort of like deter a few problems that may have arisen off the back of his unhappiness. But not ideal. It gets his wages off the books though, and helps us improve this committed and spending though. So yeah, a little bit to be happy about there. So Ter has got his work permit. We need £9 million, so we're just 1.75 million behind. We have had a £12 million offer for Corrigan, which we have accepted. Obviously we've got the Felipe deal, which potentially could go through. We're about to say the Matthew deal, which could potentially go through, but that hasn't gone through. That's really disappointing. There's lots of teams who are still interested in getting a deal done though, so we'll offer him out once more and see if there's any bites. I'm hopeful that the Felipe one will go through. He could be heading back to Brazil, and hopefully the offer from a club in his home nation will persuade him to go home. So that is the one that I'm holding out hope for. Corrigan as well. It would be very nice if he would leave. Don't really want to loan out Raul. If he's going to go, he's going to go permanently. So we'll see if there's anyone who would make a bid. Granada apparently 13.5 million, so we'll accept that one if it does come through, and hopefully this time he does actually sign a contract. Whittle's deal has gone through. Obviously it's just a loan for the moment, but with that option hopefully he can get that triggered. We have actually removed him from the transfer list just so we don't see too much of an effect on his value, but yeah, we're going to hope that that one gets over the line after, or at least some point through the year. We've accepted a couple of offers of 21.5 million for Matthew as well. So again, more opportunities to bring money into the club. The Felipe deal still hasn't gone through, which is a little bit of a concern. We are probably going to have to delay the deal, but we don't have to anymore. Felipe has agreed that deal, so we can finally afford to bring Pablo into the club. So what a great day. We'll just go ahead and get that one confirmed now. Somehow that said we have £56 million in there. I'm really not sure where a lot of that money came from, but great to get Pablo over the line. he will be a fantastic signing for us. I'm still trying to figure out where we got the other 20 million. Maybe it was instalments coming in for previous players. But it's nice to have money into the transfer budget now. We've still got 42 million to spend, around 60 grand on the wage budget. So yeah, we've got options. We'll just wait to see if these deals for the likes of Corrigan, Raoul and Matthew go through. But I think overall I'm very, very happy with the squad, how it is. I feel last year we did have a good squad anyway. We just needed to bring in quality players. And with bringing in Higuera, Pablo Ter, great players who have definitely improved the squad to no end. We've got rid of a little bit of the deadwood as well. So yeah, I think it's looking like a successful transfer window for us so far. Well, the question mark that we do have is Luigi Steenvoorden. He's got a year left on his contract. He is a very good player, but yeah, he's not an automatic first choice starter. Obviously we have Leonardo Costa on that side, who played very, very well last season and largely kept Steenvoorden out of the team. Obviously this year with the addition of Champions League football, we will have to be doing more rotation, so there is more opportunity for Steenvoorden to feature in the team. But like we say, with only a year left on the contract, he is on quite a high wage, and we would need to increase that to keep him around. So question marks over his future. And there could actually be a world where we see Georgi Bolaños come in and replace him. See, Steenvoorden slightly better at the defending aspect of the game, but looks like everywhere else Bolaños has a little bit of an advantage over him. So let's see if Steenvoorden has any interest in pursuing a move elsewhere. I think he was a little bit unhappy last season about not being the automatic first choice starter. Yeah, I think in the interest of improving the team, we will offer Steenvoorden out. See what happens with these deals first before we go ahead and make that bid for Bolaños. But I think, yeah, we are going to go ahead and see if we can bring Bolaños into the club as well. So the first bit of good news, he is happy to come in as just a squad player, so he's not expecting too much football overall. The wages aren't too bad either. I thought he would have been asking for a little bit more. We'll try to get them down a little bit, but if we do have to go for that 120k, it's not going to be too much of an issue. It looks like he is holding out for that 115. Think that would be a fantastic deal. We're only spending £20.5 million, so yeah, hopefully we'll see a great player. We know he can be devastating on his day, might not be getting too much football right at the top of the pitch, but will be expected to cut inside and have a few efforts, and yeah, he could be a huge player for us. Corrigan transfer is going through as well, so we're getting another 10 million on the transfer budget and obviously getting rid of another player. So nice to see players moving out. Obviously we've got a couple of players who are still undergoing contract negotiations, but hopeful that they'll be able to go well and we can keep on bringing money into the club. Getting close to the beginning of the season now. We've only got one more friendly schedule, but it's a couple of weeks until the season begins, so we'll get a couple of more. Raoul's deal has gone through, 13.25 being added to the transfer budget. He's been a nice little handy squad player to have around. Obviously he's homegrown at the club now as well, so he could be one to keep an eye on. If he does improve during his time in Spain, very much could be a player that we keep an eye on with the interest of adding some depth into the squad. But it's going to be nice to see how he progresses in his career, but obviously helps us get more options in our squad as well. Teams aren't willing to be paying too much for Steenvoorden. It's understandable given his contract status, but I feel that it definitely is the time to move him on. And Yeah, obviously it will be a cut price deal, but yeah, we kind of need to make room in the squad. Obviously, Bolaños will be coming in. I don't think anyone else has made a bid for him, so we are in the driving seat. And I think in the areas of the squad where we needed to improve, attack was the most important bit. Obviously, last year Jimenez improved massively, the defence improved massively. I think the addition of Santos really helped us be more solid. So I'm hopeful that we can continue the good defensive form. Obviously, adding Pablo Tur into there as well will only improve that one massively. So happy with what we've got there, and it definitely was the attacking third of the pitch which we needed to improve upon. So it's been a great transfer window for us. Another 21 million as well being added as Matthew has completed his move to Sporting. So looking very, very healthy financially at the moment. Lots of money spare as well. So yeah, we can't really complain about the transfer window which we have had so far. It's been absolutely great for us so far. Another player moving out on loan. We have been tracking Emmanuel Benitez as well, who looks like he could be a really, really good option in that deep lying role. Oh God, we do have money as well, so we'll see what his interest is like. He doesn't want anything ridiculous in wages, and we're going to go for it. You know, you can never have too many good players at the club, so if we can get another solid defensive midfielder over the line, then who's going to complain about that? Frees up Arnott to maybe help out in defence and in the right back spot as well. So there's definitely, you know, good reasons to bring Emmanuel Benitez into the club, and yeah, it's exciting times ahead for us. We have negotiated the Benitez deal. We do just want to pay all the money up front. We've already had one big deal involving instalments, so I don't want them to rack up too highly. £13.5 million for Benitez seems like a exceptional deal. We've had a few offers of £17.5 million for Steenbergen as well. So everything looking promising at the moment, and hopefully he can get that deal signed. Hopefully we can get Benitez over the line. Bolaños is over the line. Obviously the key thing about Bolaños is he's adapted to the league already. He's spent quite a bit of time with Bournemouth, so we'll help him hit the ground running. It comes at a good moment for the club as well. Leonardo Costa has picked up an injury, so he's going to be missing the beginning of the season. So Bolaños will probably be jumping straight into the first team. Elsewhere, we've accepted a bid for Callum Dixon. It's only a loan bid, but we've got his future at heart here. We want to see him improve. So hopefully a spell out on loan can see him just really, really go on and improve as a player, and we'll assess his position in the squad when he comes back. We are facing competition for Benitez's signature loan. Manchester City have come in with an offer as well. We've only got 5 days until the first game of the season as well, so unsure if that one will actually be resolved before we kick off the season. Hopefully he'll make a decision before then, so we know where we stand. Obviously we've still got Steenbergen to go out as long as he agrees a deal. So still a little bit to be done before we reach that first game of the season, but we're going to hope that this deal goes over the line, or at least we see a resolution of which club he will be going to. Obviously there will be a work permit which will need to be resolved, but as long as we know he's going to be ours, that's all we care about. The deal for Steenbergen has gone through as well. So the big thing about that, obviously getting the wages off the books. Steenbergen has been an interesting player for us, but definitely was the time to move him on. He's heading to Alavs in Spain, so could be a very, very good fit for him. He was a bit injury prone as well, so I feel it's good that we have got him out. Dixon has completed his loan move to Bolton as well. He'll be getting some regular League One football as well, and could reassess that one in January if he's doing really well and we feel he could be ready to compete in the Championship, might bring him back and send him out on loan once more. But puts us in a good position. Like we say, the squad is relatively small at this moment in time. It's a squad of 24 players, one of them being Francisco, who is a good backup at the moment, but he's still available for the under-21s, and obviously Toby Coleman in there as well. So maybe another option that we do need to bring in just to increase the amount of players we have in the squad. We'll keep an eye on that Benitez one. Like we say, there's a couple of players on the short list as well that we could look to bring in, but this is the main one we're looking to get over the line at the moment. It's not going to be Benitez though. As you probably would have expected, he's agreed a deal with Manchester City, so disappointing that we're not going to be getting that one over the line. Obviously, we do have Matsushita and Yamada who can both play there. Pablo Turk can even make an appearance there if needs be. Anthony Jones. There's lots of players in that position. It would have been nice to add another one. So we do look back to the shortlist and look at what options we do have. I feel Corey Cruikshank would be a very good option just to sit in and be an option to play anywhere in this midfield. He would cost a pretty penny though. Would be a homegrown within the country player though, so something to consider there. And like we say, Abdoulaye Coffey as well, I think is a keeper we would like to get into the club. So we'll go ahead and get this underway now. Like we say, it wouldn't join us until January, but nice to just solidify that future there. So 10 million up front, 1.5 after 50 league appearances. Yeah, feel that's a very, very reasonable deal. Maybe option who could come into the squad, he's obviously only very young. Looks to be a decent little player, can play in defence, defensive midfield, midfielder. So there's a little replacement for Raul. Could be a good option for us. We'll see if we can just go ahead and make an offer rather than having to get a compensation fee. But yeah, just trying to fill out the squad a little bit, and if we have to do it with youngsters, we have to do it with youngsters. Obviously, it wouldn't be a large transfer fee, so leaves us a lot of room to go out and spend big elsewhere. Just as an option in the squad, I feel it would be good. So if we can get Coffey and David as well, that would be great. So we have been able to offer a contract to Coffey, but David has no interest. So yeah, win some, you lose some. Clearly lost David, but like we say, we were going to go ahead and look for a more first team ready option in there. With the game coming up in just over 24 in-game hours, don't feel there's any deals that we can get over the line. Everything has got a resolution to it so far, apart from that Coffee deal which we have just gone through, but that wouldn't be happening until January anyway. So nothing for us really to still be looking out for. So like we say, we've assembled a good squad. Still, we need to add a couple of players to it, I think, just to make sure we've got enough depth in there. But definitely made a fantastic little start, and definitely think we can compete across both fronts this year. If you have enjoyed that and you think we've done good business, please remember to put a like and a comment down below. Remember to subscribe to the channel for regular Football Manager content as well. Thank you very, very much for watching. Bye bye.